What's going on, folks? I know it's been a little while since I've done a Ranger talk. Just been super busy, but I really want to start getting into doing some more of those. And what a great way to come back and start them up again than by talking to the awesome, super cool name. I think even Rod Serling would approve. Quantum Twilight. What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, of course. You know, I was just thinking about it. I wanted to ask you about that name. You know, it kind of sounds like if there was like a crossover between the TV shows Quantum Leap and Twilight Zone.
That's what comes up when you Google it, basically. But no, there's really not much to it. I was just trying to think of something that sounded cool, and I'd like a list of words, and Quantum Twilight just wasn't actually the original. It was actually two other names, and then everyone that I floated it by, they're like, why don't you just take Quantum from that one and Twilight from the other one? Like, that works for me.
Oh, that's awesome. It works. It sounds cool and it rolls right off the tongue. So mission accomplished. So, you know, early congratulations in order, I guess, for your album coming out this Friday, but August 5th, right?
Yep, August 5th.
Awesome.
It's been a long time in the works, but yeah, it's very exciting that it's finally coming out.
Yeah, I bet. So I guess let's go back in time a little bit then, but before we really talk about that. And how did y'all, I guess, first get together with the idea of creating Quantum Twilight?
Yeah, so it started just as sort of a solo project, not really even with any intentions to be released. It's just during the pandemic, I just wanted to do something to sort of stay busy and be productive. So I thought, why don't I try writing some music that I'd really enjoy listening to? And then just from there, I guess it just sort of built that, you know, I wrote some songs, I thought they sounded pretty good. And then thought, you know, why don't we see what they sound like with vocals, because I can't sing. And then, yeah, luckily I found Jared, and he basically, from the little demo that he sent me, I was just basically, he's perfect. This is exactly what I want. And yeah, that really kicked everything off, because once I heard him on the song, I like, yeah, these are something that I think anyone would hear and like, not just me. And yeah, so I thought that we should go all in and make something that we could put out and would compete with the big boys of power metal. And yeah, I think it's something that we are doing. Yeah, we've gotten good feedback so far, good reviews. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Awesome. So both of you guys, where are your backgrounds from? You know, Gregory, you know, had you worked in music before? Had you created music in the past? And Jared, you know, how did you kind of develop your vocal style and I guess decide on, you know, a power metal genre, or did that just kind of happen?
Yeah, for me at least, my background was just like band in school. I played saxophone pretty much from end of elementary school up through high school. And I actually didn't start playing guitar until I was like 18 or 19. So I'm pretty late to the game there.
Wow.
But yeah, I got into guitar music. I'm from the generation where Guitar Hero was huge. So Guitar Hero 3.
Yes.
And
yes,
beat that, and you get Through the Fire and Flames by Dragon Force.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I never heard anything like that in my life. And I just didn't know that music could be like that. And I pretty much just fell in love with their style of music and started trying to play it on guitar, which is pretty much impossible. So maybe that's why I tried writing my own music, because I couldn't play what they play.
yeah, the funny thing is, like, kind of my origin story with the love of, I guess, power metal specifically would be playing Through the Fire and the Flames on Guitar Hero, which is, you know, that kind of changed my life, my perspective. But mainly, like, my main background is I'm a musical theater performer, professional actor, singer. I have been since 18, 19, I guess, technically. And it's always something I wanted to try. I never thought I would actually be able to achieve a certain level within those kind of songs vocally. They're obviously very demanding, not songs like for anyone to just sing along with for fun.
No.
Not what I was used to at all. Since I kind of started with like old school golden age legit musical theater, so like a nice Rodgers and Hammerstein tune,
Right.
like, some enchanted evening, something like that. You go from like that to this, it's like, what happened? I mean, metal is always something I was drawn to and I've loved. Like, I'm a huge melodic metal fan, like Killswitch Engage, All That Remains. Saw them both live, and that kind of changed my life. Like seeing Howard Jones of Killswitch Engage sing live, that he was a big inspiration for me vocally. Who I kind of like on the side of learning musical theater, I went and kind of tried some of his like isms and vocal stylings, and I kind of over time it ended up here. I joined Fiverr during the pandemic to just be like, I wanted to record some vocal demos and try this out because I never had the chance to do that. Bought a mic and audio interface and all that jazz, and we found each other on Fiverr, and here we are.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. I guess with having like a theater background and liking to perform and stuff like that, power metal is probably one of the best genres to get into, I'd say, to really express that. There's a lot of that in there for sure.
Definitely very theatrical in terms of a lot of the elements of it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, really cool. So when you first connected, I guess, on Fiverr, and you heard the music that Gregory had put together, what did you think?
First of all, I couldn't believe that he was asking me to even like attempt trying, like, sing this little bit of music, and it was like, oh, there's something just crazy high, and I was like, oh, okay. And I really had to practice a lot because I really wanted to nail this. Because like, oh my God, this is a crazy cool opportunity here. I don't want to let him down. I want to, get him interested in me. So I practiced it a bit too much, and then I had to kind of settle with what I ended up with. Like, all right, we'll go with that. But luckily, I think it turned out okay. But yeah, I mean, I was just absolutely thrilled that he was even considering me for this very cool project.
Awesome. So, you think it's just okay right now? You don't think it's perfect how you
I mean, but at the album as a whole, for me, when I hear some parts, I'm like, oh God, I wish I could have done that differently. Or there's a lot I would personally change, but within the circumstances that I recorded this in, I think, it turned out pretty decent in my opinion. I mean, I don't like to, toot my own horn by any means, but by any means, but I think it turned out, pretty good. I mean, Gregory's like, he smashes those solos, man. They get me amped up.
Yeah.
So good.
See, but I'm thinking the same thing, that there's so much I would do differently on the guitar parts. And I guess that's just part of being a musician, is that you always think you could do something better. But
right.
At least my opinion, for the constraints that Jared had, that, like I said, we did all of this remote. He was recording it at his house and just sending me takes. And, I didn't want to be that guy who's like, I need, 100 takes of this. So he'd send me 3 takes and they'd be really good. And that's what ended up on the album. Wow. So yeah, I'm sure if we had, thousands of dollars and unlimited studio time, like I'm sure some bands have access to, could make something even better. But I mean, I think for a debut album, for what we've done, it doesn't sound like amateur work, at least in my opinion. And I think Jared really shows how great of a singer he is to be able to pull off all the stuff that he did.
Well, between both y'all, especially the way that you collaborated together, like remotely, and all of that stuff, and the the way in which you had to record everything, one wouldn't know based off of listening to it that that's kind of how it was put together. I think when you hear it, you assume that there's a band in a studio with really good equipment and recording. You know what I mean? You wouldn't think that you got these two dudes, one of them, you know, doing the instruments, and the other one, you know, doing the vocals with just a mic he went out and bought and tried to put together. It doesn't sound like that. So, you know, I guess that lends the credibility to both of your talents.
Thank you. That's a huge compliment.
Yes, thank you.
No, and I mean, Jared, you know, I think, you know, I've already seen people comparing you to Dragon Force, you know, level vocals. So if people hear you and that's what they're thinking. So you know, if that doesn't tell you something right there.
I mean, I'll take it. I don't believe it's true at all. I'll take it. Like, thank you. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to get that, but you know, I mean, Dragon Force is a beast of its own. You know, you can't touch them, really.
No, well, I mean, you know, and
we're gonna try to.
Yeah, you can try to strive to do your best, but
right.
I mean,
if people think we're better than Dragon Force, I won't be offended at all.
No.
No, yeah, I mean, you know, you guys have your own, you know, there's obvious, and as soon as you hear, you know, the song start up or whatnot, clear influence is there without a doubt, but you guys definitely still have your own, you know, your own vibe and your own style. But the fact, you know, for both of you, musically and vocally, that people are instantly, you know, equating you to Dragon Force, and it sounds like that was both of your kind of real inspirations, both musically and vocally. That sounds like success, you know, if I've ever heard it. So
yeah, I mean, I don't think of it as a negative when people say that. At least a few people who've commented it say we sound like Dragon Force. I mean, I know you mentioned it in your reaction to Never Surrender. I think they have a pretty distinct sound, especially in power metal.
mm-hmm.
And there aren't that many bands that sound like them, like their style. I looked because I like what they sound like. So I wanted to try to find other bands that sound like them. And there's not that many. And so it's like, I like this style of music, and I mean, they can only put out an album every so often. So if I want to hear more, then what better way than to make my own songs? And I mean, I don't like every single song they put out either. So if I can put out just the songs in that style that I like and that I can sit down and listen to, then yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I think we were able to accomplish that because I probably listened to at least one of the songs every day, if not the whole album. And I've probably heard everything thousands of times through all the editing and all, and I can still sit down and listen to it. So, I mean, at least that's part of the goal was achieved, that I can make something that I like.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's another beauty of just the power metal genre, is that there's so many little subgenres or like styles of power metal. You know, like you have your Dragon Force type, the real speedy, shreddy, you know, the kind of style, you know, your Rhapsody of Fire type, you know, fantasy, Middle Earth type of stuff. You know, your more heavy, you know, I guess like Manimal style power. You know, you got all the different types that you can go through. So that's just really cool in general. But so you said you played saxophone elementary through like high school?
Yeah.
Gregory. So is there any of that on the album?
No.
No,
I don't think I haven't played it.
Opportunity right there.
I know. We need like a bridge, just a breakdown. The music dims and you just get this. This smooth.
Just comes out of nowhere. Oh, it's just smooth jazz. Oh, yeah, hit me with that.
Maybe on the next one.
Yeah.
Maybe next time you should.
Oh, it's got just a ballad. You know, a saxophone power ballad.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
I actually haven't played it since high school, and I like a few years after, maybe like 5 years after I graduated, I actually tried, and I couldn't even make a sound out of it. It's just because I lost like all the strength to play on it. So maybe one day I'll get back on it.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, or even just like, you know, have like a bonus album, a second disc or something, like the sax version, you know.
Oh, wow.
Like, have you guys heard the latest album from Ailstorm, the Seventh Rum of the Seventh Rum?
I've heard some of the singles. I haven't heard the full
They're
album.
such a odd band. They have 3 discs. The first is their normal stuff. The second album is like the acoustic, and the third is the album for dogs, where all the vocals is replaced by dog barking. It's just the most bizarre thing I've ever heard in my life. So
I'll have to check that out now.
Well, now I have to listen.
Yeah, I know, right?
Can't miss that.
No, like even your dogs didn't enjoy the music with you. It's crazy. But so with all the different, so how many instruments do you play, Gregory?
Well, I like to say primarily guitarist, but I played the bass, which is, I mean, it's similar enough. I faked my way sort of through the keyboards, and that's really all there was for the instruments. The drums were programmed.
Okay.
So yeah, really right now just the guitar and bass are what I mainly play.
Well, I mean, you sure did a heck of a lot with the sound with just that then. So I think you're being a little bit modest. I think there's definitely some more, involved with the keyboard and guitar, picking it up at 18 and playing the way that you do. That's wild. You're not like secretly 50 or anything right now, are you? Been playing for like 32 years?
I hope I'm not that old yet.
Because you certainly sound like a seasoned guitarist on the album, that's for sure.
Yes.
Thank you. A lot of practice, I guess.
How did really, okay, so once you kind of recorded, did you record how you wanted the vocal melodies or anything to go, or did you kind of just work out the music and then just send that out there, and then Jared, you kind of work on the melodies, or how did that collaboration go with the vocal lines and stuff?
Yeah, so unfortunately for Jared, he didn't have much input, so I gave him
which is fine. Because Greg knows what he's doing.
I definitely gave you some stuff that you probably would not choose it to be written that way, because it's difficult to sing. I think a couple of the songs I had to rewrite in different keys to make it easier for him, or make it possible for a human to sing.
Well, there was one that was just like a little bit too much out there for me.
Wow.
I will be honest.
Yeah, he has an amazing range. Like how high can you go?
Oh God. I mean, that's hard to say. I mean, it depends. Like falsetto, I guess like up to the Freddie Mercury. Well, it's not. I guess he didn't technically sing it. The B flat in the Bohemian Rhapsody there, and then like I mix up to the high E, and I can belt up to like a C sharp. So I mean, it depends. On a good day, this is of course like an ideal day. Everything feels amazing. That's
right
where I can go. But yeah, I don't know. That's it changes every day really. So couldn't tell you.
It pretty much sounds like just how high do you need, and I'll be there. Right. Simple as that.
Yeah, I don't know what half of the words he said meant, so that's probably why I shouldn't be writing too many vocal melodies. Right.
It's like we ask, and it's like the eyes glaze over. Oh, cool. So
yeah.
Sounds like
sorry, that didn't mean anything.
Sounds great, man. Sounds great.
Nonsense. How high do you need? Exactly. That's
yeah.
And I'll do it. I'll attempt.
Awesome. And lyrics, Gregory, did you write those as well?
Yes. Yeah.
What were you inspired there? You kind of got like a sci-fi kind of vibe going, especially with that lyric video. I love that from Never Surrender. That was so cool. The ship going around, blasting stuff. Really
yeah, that was all Scott Rudd Films who did the videos, and yeah, that's probably my favorite one. The last one that they put together, the thing inside the ship like that. But yeah, it's not really sci-fi. There's one song on the album, Intergalactic Onslaught, that's sci-fi. I'm an anime fan. I like video games, so that song's actually about the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so the actual cover of the album, which I have here for anyone who
look at that.
Hasn't seen it yet. Yeah, this is our digipack that we're gonna selling on Bandcamp. quantumtwilight.bandcamp.com, quantumtwilight.net. Gotta plug those.
It'll be down there in the description below. Yeah, so y'all can just click on there after.
Yeah, so the album cover, it's actually, I wanted to more describe our music rather than what the songs are about. And so felt we're fast, we explosive, powerful, and I just think, yeah, that the space battle pretty much nails all of that. And the inspiration for the songs, like I said, anime, was Overdrive is about Final Fantasy X for all the RPG fans out there, and the rest are really a lot about like life and stuff that happened. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to the whole album, but the ending track, Game Over, I think people will obviously see that that's pretty much about when the song was written in 2020, about all that was going on in that point.
Game Over is apt, especially if you're writing that in 2020. It sure felt like it, didn't it?
It's a good track to close out the album too. But yeah, so a lot of inspiration just around things that I thought were cool or things that I've gone through, and yeah, not a concept album, but maybe the next time we could try to do something like that.
Yeah, fair enough. It just a lot of space theme in there for sure. Even with the cover, like you said, but it just being used to kind of give an idea of what the sounds evoke, I guess. Because even the name of the album, Hypersonic Demolition, right? Even that, sounds pretty spacey.
Yeah, that's sort of a similar thing, but yeah, I felt like that's kind of defining what this album is going to bring to the table. I'm like, either we're going to come in out of nowhere and explode onto the scene, or we're going to crash and burn. So there's no middle ground on this.
No. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I get it, because the name of the album is quite descriptive of how the sound of the music, and it's speedy, it's adventurous. It definitely takes you away somewhere else, which again, is something I love about power metal, and when it's done right, is it's certainly just, it's good escapism. It sounds epic, and it pumps you up. That's a good thing too. So yeah, I know this album, it's coming out this week. So this one hasn't even dropped yet, but have you guys been talking about a follow-up or anything like that? Was this a one-time $5 deal, or have you guys kind of, talked about sticking together?
Yeah, pretty much as soon as we finished, we wrapped up the recording, I told Jared that I definitely want him on board for the next one. So we're going to see how this goes. Obviously, before we start recording other stuff, but we did have like some other songs written, but probably if we're going to do another one, I definitely want Jared to be more involved in the process for sure. I think we could, if we are more collaborative, we could definitely do something even better. But yeah, we'll see how this goes first, I think, before we dive into recording something else. But I think it's more likely than not that this isn't going to be it for us.
Awesome. Well, I think, you guys are already generating some good buzz. So, hopefully the momentum just keeps going and going. Any plans for like live shows, or have you guys been able to even do live shows or anything like that?
That's another sort of issue that we have, is that we are not in the same location. Jared, he's all over. He's based in like England right now. So,
oh wow,
yeah. So it's not like something that we could just go out and play like the local bar. I feel if the right opportunity came about, I definitely want to go out and tour and do shows. One thing I was thinking, I know Jared, he actually performs on cruises. I think that's like his main job. So I was thinking, Jared, how come you don't just like smuggle me on board a ship one day, and then we could just like sort of take over, and we could be like the first like actual pirate power metal band.
Yeah, oh God.
I love that idea personally.
That would be awesome.
I think it would go over really well with kind of the older drunk crowd on the cruise ships. Yeah.
I think we can give them a good time.
They're
there because they want to party.
Yeah, no pop standards or jazz, going on. No, it's gonna be some power metal.
No more of that. Yeah.
No.
Time for
take your upright bass and get out of here.
I That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's what we need. Yeah, yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. So how cool is that? You get to travel around just on the cruises performing, and you could just say Gregory's part of the troupe, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm sure we can figure something out. Be like a guest artist type situation for a cruise, and they just won't know what's gonna coming. We'll pitch one thing, but surprise them the actual performance. Yeah.
I won't take up much room in the luggage hold, trust me.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, one way or the other, you get on there. Oh, that's awesome. Well, hey, it's so cool how you guys met up. So cool how both of you, a lot of folks that I talk to in the power metal scene or genre, they're inspired by like Iron Maiden and stuff. So it's kind of cool to speak to folks that are more along to the time frame where I got into power metal. It wasn't Dragon Force, but it was more of that like early 2000s, mid 2000s style of power metal that is what I really, that's what got me into it. So I dig that sound and all that stuff. So yeah, and I was playing Guitar Hero 3 like it was my job back then also. So, I totally get that inspiration there.
Yeah,
I wish that was like a real, I just wish that translated to real life better. Cause man, I was killing it on Expert, but I can't play a real guitar. Like, I just wish you could just pick up a real one and just play that good, man.
What happened to me, I was trying so hard to beat the songs on Expert, and I was just like, why am I wasting time learning this on the plastic guitar? I could get a real guitar and try to learn the same thing, and I still haven't learned those songs. So maybe I should have stuck with it.
So that's even better.
I could probably create my own songs on the plastic guitar. And I think that there's like a whole South Park episode about that, right?
I don't know. Wow, wild stuff. So, I mean, how excited are you guys that this is finally dropping in a few days?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pumped because I released the first demos. There's 5 tracks that I did the demos on before Jared even came on board. I think I released those in August of 2020. So we're basically 2 years from when we started this. Probably a year and a half since Jared finished recording. So
wow,
it's been a long time. And yeah, finally that it's all coming together. Super excited. We've already had a couple of people pre-order, and yeah, but it's finally happening. It's really cool. I'm sure they're not going to be disappointed once they receive the disc in their hands.
Awesome.
Yeah. Man, it's like surreal that it's actually happening. But it's been like a year and a half. It's like recording those feels like such a distant memory. Just me sweating bullets in a closet in my bathroom.
Oh my Lord. Now when people hear you singing, they're just gonna picture you just in a closet in your bathroom.
Like surrounded by like blankets and sheets that I just put on the walls. It was like obviously a very professional job with the soundproofing.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Just like screaming in a bathroom, essentially.
It's an industry secret.
Yeah.
Just thick blankets. You don't need that noise canceling foam or anything like that.
No, there's no need for that.
Amateur hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. It's still remarkable, the sound that you guys created, based off of these stories that I hear. It just sounds, it sounds way better than it should, essentially. So
yeah.
kudos on that. Did you do all the mixing and mastering yourself?
No, we did not do the mixing and the mastering. So for the mixing, we went with Blaine Meisner. He's engineer out of Q Recording Studios in Falls Church. We released a single for the song Beyond the Walls last March, and he did a great job on that. So had him do the full album too. We did that in January of this year. We basically had a 2-week window that we had to get it in, and we had COVID going on. We had a COVID scare, and we missed a couple of days, and we had some snowstorms that we had to brave to get to the studio. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, we finished it about like 2 days to spare. And yeah, he did an awesome job. Like some of the decisions, like probably you notice the bass is probably quite prominent in the mix. That was a decision he made, which I loved. Like if you're going to record the bass, like let people hear it.
Yeah.
There's so many power metal albums out there and you wouldn't even know that there's bass on them. It's probably metal in general. They let's shun the bass, and I don't know why. But yeah, he did an awesome. Yeah, he did an awesome job on the mixing, and then we had TJ Lipple do the mastering. So I mean, we try to keep a lot of it in house to save on the money, but yeah, those things I can't do those, and yeah, leave that stuff to the professionals, and you'll get a really good sound. And people like Jared who can really sing, they'll give you good vocal tracks. And we spent to get an Axe Effects to record the guitars, so there's actually a big jump going from something like that to a cheaper alternative to recording the guitars. So I think that really helped to get a nice tone and sort of tie everything together. I think for the next time we have to get real drums though.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Even I guess just like a studio musician, or there you go, just go on Fiverr again. It worked out for you this time, so.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but there's a lot of unknowns. So yeah, probably the next time just have to like put more thought into it and figure out how we're gonna make that work. But yeah, definitely probably a real drum, probably a real band. Like I don't want to do everything again. It's a lot of work.
I bet. Wow. So, well, congrats again, that you guys pulled this thing together. So cool how you met, and it worked. It just worked, between the music and then Jared, your vocal style and everything. It's so cool how everything clicked, and now people are hearing it. And, I think people are getting excited, as they should be. And it's exciting to hear that, hopefully this partnership you guys formed is something that will continue forward. And it's just exciting times, to say the least. So again, is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention to all the viewers out there checking this out?
When the album drops, I mean, I think a couple songs that weren't singles that I would be on the lookout in particular are, I think they're the second and third tracks. Correct me if I'm wrong. Could be wrong. Champions and Intergalactic Onslaught, I think, are two that I really, really enjoy, actually, how they turned out. I think those might be two of people's favorites, or hopefully they will be.
Cool.
So be on the lookout for those two in particular.
Sounds good. Any ideas for like a music video or anything like that in the future, especially Jared with your theater background? I mean,
yeah,
to get you in front of the camera.
He's gonna be out of my neck of the woods soon, I think. So
yeah. Funny enough, I'm gonna be going to Virginia the end of August here, and for a production I'm doing. Now I'll be there like 2 months.
Oh wow!
So we're gonna actually meet each other in person, hopefully.
For the first time.
When I'm there, yeah. When I'm there. And who knows? Maybe that I'll have some extra time. So, music video, not a bad idea. Yeah. Actually, yeah, might be worth looking into. Who knows?
There you go. Who knows what we'll get when you guys, the two forces meet in person. The hypersonic demolition may occur. Who knows what will happen?
Yeah.
Gregory, anything you wanted to mention in particular?
I want to say thanks to everyone who has supported us so far, the people who have pre-ordered, the messages that we've gotten from people all over the world who said that they've liked what they've heard and they want to hear more. I mean, we've gotten messages, gotten tweeted out by people in Japan,
wow,
people in South America and in Europe. So it's pretty crazy that you have people all over the world listening to your music and enjoying it. So thank all of you who liking and support us. And yeah, August 5th, full
August
thing is
5th.
going to drop.
Yes. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening so far. It's been wild, the online reception that I've seen so far. So it's very much appreciated.
Wow, debut album hasn't even quite released yet, and you guys have already gone worldwide. Who can say that, right?
It's like the only period in history that you can do that. So, the right place, right time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, and not trying to create some power metal during like the Renaissance era or anything like that. So, that's good. I don't know. Traveling bards. Well, I guess Blind Guardian did it, right? So, whatever.
Pachelbel is the original power metaler.
Who?
Johann Pachelbel, the original power metaler. Probably every band has at least one song that's using that.
Right. Unreal. Well, again, congratulations, guys. Just super exciting. Great. It's so cool, when folks are able to just put a project together and just realize their vision and all of that, and then find like-minded individuals. So just super again, congrats. Can't wait for the full release. I'm sure a lot of other folks are out there as well. When this video drops, it'll just be like a couple days away. So yeah, thank you both so much for joining me. It was an absolute pleasure to speak with you. And yeah, I wish you the best for the future. And I hope this album brings you just immense wealth and status and power. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, man.
That's what we're going for, world domination.
Secretly New World Order.
One stream at a time.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. That's Quantum Twilight. Their debut album, Hypersonic Demolition, is coming out in a couple days, August 5th. Check it out. I'm putting all of their social media stuff and all of the singles, links to all the singles that they released, down in the description below. So go check all that out, explore, have fun, listen, and look forward to the album. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. In the comments down below, let's talk about the singles that released when the album drops. Let's talk about that. Let Quantum Twilight know how stoked you are and how much you love them. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you all next time. Ranger, out.